I ain't gonna expose. I'm not like that. I'm not a snitch. Virginity. It's a hush-hush topic.
Yeah. They love me.
Let's see if your parents raised you.
It's deeper than the physical.
What up, fam? Welcome back to the Juxtaposition, everyone. Welcome back to the Juxtaposition. I'm your host, Nana, alongside my two lovely co-hosts,
Janet and Bernice.
Yes, and today we have a special guest, guys. Very special. Today we got my sister here. Everybody give a round of applause.
Woo! Becky.
The first lady on our podcast.
Yeah,
The
it's
first
exciting.
lady, so.
Thank you guys for having me.
How do you feel? Are you nervous?
Yes, I'm very much nervous. Nana's always here talking about me too, so today is my time.
Okay,
Yes.
well, for the people, this is my oldest sister. I have two sisters and a big brother. This is the oldest one. So yeah, this is my sister. Okay, so let's get it.
We can get into it. Well, first
Am I starting it off?
well, I mean, you already
Okay,
did.
no, you're gonna say something.
No, I was gonna say we're gonna talk about there's two major topics, but let's talk about what's going on in Canada. Well, actually, mostly the States and
America.
Canada.
Both.
Yeah, I'm talking about vaccinations and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah,
The
but both.
Is it
Yeah,
both?
yeah, it is.
Yeah. How do you guys feel about this vaccine passport?
Well, I'm not about it. I think it's an infringement on rights. I think it's an infringement on just allowing us to have our freedom of choice. Because a lot of things with the flu vaccine and stuff like that, we are not forced or I would say coerced to actually get the vaccine, and we had choice to do so. And I feel like now they're limiting our freedom with going out to restaurants, going out to school, even school, not attending school. Really, I don't get that point. If we don't want to get it, yeah, give us another option, but don't force people into doing what they don't want to do.
Yeah, that's what I'm about. Options, okay? Options. As of right now, my school is telling me you have to have the vaccine to come, which is, it feels like they're tying my hands together.
They're boxing us in.
And saying, take it or, education. But it's only 2 classes in person, then 4 classes online. But I'm not ready. I'm just not mentally ready, And I don't think I'm an anti-vaxxer.
No, you're
I don't think I'm an anti-vaxxer.
You're in the middle.
I'm in the
no,
middle.
you're not anti-vaccination
I'm
because you're
not.
saying if you do get it, that's fine. I'm not against you
Yeah.
getting it, but I personally am not ready.
I'm not ready.
That's the difference.
It's not
we're not
fair.
against the vaccine, but we're
Right.
just not ready. So why are you forcing us to take something that we're just not ready to take?
And it feels like a political play and a money play. As soon as September comes, let's just spring it upon everyone.
So we can get
what?
the businesses back in order and stuff.
Where did that come from?
Becky, how do you feel about it?
I think it's quite aggressive, to be honest. I thought I had more time.
Right.
Yeah, I really thought I had more time, especially how I'm basically in isolation.
Yeah.
The way school is set up. So in my mind, I'm I really don't have to get it because I'm not around anybody. But now, if I want to go catch a movie,
Right.
or if I want to go eat dinner,
Or even to the gym.
yeah, and I really, when I weigh it, I'm gonna get vaccinated just to hit the gym.
Right. Yeah.
And you
You
have to
know?
get vaccinated because you have a wedding coming up too.
Yeah, for a wedding coming up, and I just feel like you're not giving me autonomy, right? I should have that power and control to make the decision when I want to get vaccinated. So I don't like it. It's just very uncomfortable. I'm not anti-vax. I know I have to get it at some point.
Right.
But I just don't like, policies forced in my hand.
Right. That's
Yeah.
exactly the same with me. I agree.
What's free choice? Is there such thing as free choice anymore?
There was.
certain things. One thing that I was reading the word today, and then I don't know if God's saying this, but it talked about authority and obeying authority and how God established those who are in authority. And so if you go against who he has established, you're basically rejecting God. And so in my mind, I'm like, so God, are you telling me that I have to go with this vaccine thing because they put the policy?
That's a question I ask myself.
Because
is
it
this
doesn't.
vaccine God?
But is it contradicting anything that goes against the law, the word of God? This vaccine, right? And so I began to question, am I just doing it because it's just me? Because it's just a I don't know, maybe it's a pride thing or a selfish
But
thing.
would God want us to put something in our body that's not fully?
No, but why? But I'm saying he established these people who are in authority. So you have to understand that he purposely put these guys and those who are putting the vaccine out there for a reason. Like it's
That's
not
a tough one. I don't think I can agree on that one. Still.
I don't know about
It's
that.
not.
Yeah, I don't know.
No, but I
There's
know
a lot of people in authority that's doing foolishness in this world.
But I'm
though.
saying it does it.
There's corrupt cops.
That's a different. No, but that's different because
But
it's
they're in
contradicting.
authority, though.
No, but it's contradicting the law. So if you're contradicting what the word of God says, then you don't obey that. But if it does go with what the law is saying, like he put these guys in for a reason, right? He knew Corona is gonna come. He knew that we needed something to help us overcome this coronavirus. So if they're handing us something that it's supposed to help us, I'm not saying I'm gonna take it. I still don't agree.
No,
I
but
get what you're
you know what I'm
saying.
saying?
No, I get what she's saying, but there's some doctors for black women will say, "Hey, take this pill or just take these medications."
But concerning the vaccine, I'm not talking about anything else. I'm just
giving you the aspect of a doctor may say something, and then for black people, we're like, no, like that's not good for us.
But they're also offering. But the thing they're offering people who are of color, people of color, handing out the vaccine. That's what I'm saying. So it's not like they're not helping you. For those who are underprivileged or whatever the case may be, because they're doing that, right? They're saying, okay, if you don't want to go to our white doctor, we can offer you a black nurse or a black doctor, right? So it's like,
But they still think it's under the white system.
yes,
That
so
are pushing it out.
It's just, but it just came to me this morning. I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, okay, God, I don't know if this is you, but
I don't know. I
don't want to reject you, and I don't want to be.
That's a
somebody
tough
who's
one.
not
That's
a good
so
citizen,
that's really tough
right?
to say. That's too tough to say.
Are you
And I
sure?
don't want to I don't want to mix God with that one.
But
still,
everything,
like, you know?
everything encompasses God, though. That's what I'm saying.
No, but that one, like you guys are saying,
I think I need
don't
more
know
research. I need to look into that.
I can't
but
agree on that one. Still, I'm not even gonna.
That one's
front.
still touchy
That one,
subject.
that's touchy. I'm not even gonna.
I can feel you riled up.
Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like that one.
I understand what
still.
you're saying, right? Because these people are put in place to deal with public health.
Yes.
And they've been doing it for quite some time.
Right.
There's so many pandemics or so many diseases that they were put into this position to control, which
Right.
is why the flu is under control.
Exactly.
Or when Ebola came through, it was controlled, and other things. So I do understand what you're saying. Like, they have the knowledge to make these decisions for the public, and it is for the greater good. It's just the fact with the vaccine, especially around people of color, there is a history that's involved, which is why people are so hesitant. People don't trust the government, and the government has really done a horrible job in not really acknowledging that. They're just ignoring that, which is the reason why, like, all of us sitting here today, we're hesitant. Like, I'm in working to become
in the field.
I'm in the field, and I'm still saying no. Like, I don't want to get it. But
Tell people what field you're in.
Okay, so I'm in nursing at York. It's a 2-year program, so I'm in my final year. And I'm before that, I had a Bachelor of Science with a major in chemistry. So I'm very like science-y or whatever. But at the same time, I am Black and I know the history, and I'm very hesitant because, you know, there has been a time where the government wasn't thinking about the benefit of people of color. And not to say that they're doing it now, just saying it is rooted in something.
And I think the mindset is always still ingrained, and it's kind of hard to change over the years of many years following that train, right? So now all of a sudden I'm gonna believe that you have my best interest. Like, I don't know about that.
Yeah.
So
it is touchy, but I understand.
Jesus, come back now. Crack the
He
sky
said
open.
the time is near.
Crack the sky open and
He's
just take us.
the end times.
He's coming.
This is ridiculous.
He's closer than you think. I think a lot of people forget. He's
We're
closer
living
than
in
you
crazy
think.
times right now.
Well, let's talk about the topic about
Oh, Lord. My stomach.
My heart.
this topic is very, very, very touchy, very sensitive, and we're gonna do our best to be as empathetic, as sympathetic, as compassionate as possible without without holding back truth. That's what I'm gonna say.
this is our disclaimer. This is our opinion. This is what
I mean,
we
people
believe.
should understand as possible.
We feel like we shouldn't. We're not infringing on yours, but if you what you believe is what you believe and what you think
And
is
just
right,
respect
respect everybody
people,
else's
yeah.
opinion.
So this topic that we're talking about is about abortion. It's been in talks for a long time, especially this whole concerning the laws about whether women are able to have abortions or not. And so recently, the U.S. Supreme Court has decided for the state of Texas, at least,
particularly.
they have signed a new law or agreed upon a new law about the abortion law. Basically, they're basically stopping women. You cannot get an abortion if you're past 6 weeks.
Yeah. And to take it in, a lot of women don't know that they're even pregnant before 6 weeks.
Yeah.
So it makes it kind of hard.
Month and 2 weeks, right?
Yeah. And it's kind of hard. Like some people don't even know till like 9 weeks, 10 weeks later on.
Yeah,
so
at that point you'll think, oh, it's stress.
Yeah.
Just attribute it to something else.
Right. So this is the new law, and a lot of people have a lot of things to say. And so we're a podcast that talks about uncomfortable topics. So here we go. We're diving in. Nose first. Okay. So guys, what are your thoughts about this new law? To take this, just to remind you, this is not the first state that has a law.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there's a couple other ones.
Canada's not. There's no abortion that is allowed in Canada. Canada, there's no abortion.
No, there.
No, you sure?
It is. Yeah. It's legal.
No, it's not.
It is.
No, it's not.
Now do some Googles.
I'm telling you, Canada, at least for Ontario, you're not allowed to get abortion.
What? For real?
I'm telling you right now. I searched it up.
Let's do our Googles, people, because that one.
I swear, I thought you weren't.
Sorry, I'm some people.
I thought it was.
Yeah, I think it is allowed.
Are you sure?
It says abortion in Canada is legal at all stages of pregnancy, regardless of reason, and is publicly funded as a medical
then I read
procedure.
it wrong.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Because I'll be here.
My bad.
Because they would have riled on Canada. We would have heard that.
I would have.
Well,
Yeah.
Sorry, my bad. But yeah. So in certain states, obviously, there's some abortion laws that are. Well, this is actually, I think
Texas
is
don't play because they're the Bible Belt, you know. And then since they're the Bible Belt, people want to just think that it's the Christian narrative, that this whole abortion thing. But there's a lot of other religions that are against abortion. But once again, Christianity is it's like the most popular to an extent. So it has a spotlight on it. So when politics or politicians are making these rules and these laws, everyone's saying that's Christians, but
because Christianity is intertwined with the government back then, and now
it started off with government. That's how
exactly
to play, right?
So now people are looking at Christianity as a reason or a blame for the laws that are happening. But now it's being separated, and there's a new Christianity in the way we look at it, the right way of looking at it, not controlling way of looking at it. Just like going back with Aboriginals and how the government and the Christian system have controlled them and controlled laws and boxed them in. So Christianity has a lot of backlash for a lot of years, and I think they call it, of course, the white man's religion, but it's been tough for. So
okay, let's take it back. What are your thoughts on? Let's start with our guest here.
Yes.
What are my thoughts?
No, don't start with.
Yes.
Start with Janet. Then go to me. Then go to her. Then go
Okay,
to you.
you start then.
Oh.
Okay, fine. He doesn't want to start. I'll start. My belief is that I agree with this law. I believe that we need to protect all forms of life, even down to animals. It's life, regardless if you. And 6 weeks is when it's basically said that when you hear the heartbeat, when you can find a heartbeat, then you cannot get an
it's
abortion.
viable.
Yes. Yeah. And that is how life is considered real, or it's living. If you find a heartbeat, right? If there's a heartbeat, then it has life, it is breathing, it is living. And so people who are against this, they need to understand that it's not about, I understand women saying I have the right to do what I want with my body and do as I please with my body. Completely understand that. But at the same time, who's going to speak up for the life that's living inside of you? If nobody does it, then who does? Right? Your mother spoke up for you by choosing to give you life, right? And so if your mother had the choice and be like, I don't care, I'm gonna do what as I please. She gotta smoke, she gotta drink, she gotta done all this stuff. There's all these things that the doctor told you not to do so that you can protect the baby in your body, right? So if the doctor didn't tell you to not take this certain drink or don't drink when you're pregnant or don't do all these things, it's because they're protecting the life that's inside of you, right? And so that's how I see it. It's protecting life. And I'm not gonna be. I mean, people always say this it's a selfish motive. Women are being selfish when they think about abortion. I feel like that's extreme because there's obviously circumstances, but I think we have to look at it from a different angle.
That's how I look at it. Is would I want that to be done to me? Like when I think about like damn, my mother kept me safe and stuff like that. So like once again, that person that's in your stomach, the baby has no say. So people that are making these laws have to put something out to protect these children that don't have a voice, right? And I think I was saying yesterday, how come we can't look at the laws or the laws being changed at like the perspective as like these people are trying to protect these unborn children, you know? But people are just looking at I want to get an abortion and this happening to me, or I'm not ready to have a kid and stuff like that. But it's tough. Like, once again, I want to lead with empathy and stuff like that. I don't want to just, rah, rah, rah. And the beauty of this, and I was saying to the beauty of this is that we have women here. It's not just a man talking. Why are you smiling? It's not just a man talking. Because I'm going to get crucified. Men they get crucified. We clearly have no say,
I see. That's the word. Sorry, I'm gonna go kind of left. I feel like that's not fair
not
to
fair,
say because it takes two people to create
to
a life.
bring the life. Yeah.
So if it's really hard to say that men don't have a say.
No, I say
in terms of even if you're not the one carrying the baby.
No, I don't mean men don't have a say. Like I'm talking about an opinion.
They can't talk about it.
Yeah, we can't talk about it.
No, what I'm saying.
But they should be able to have opinion.
I'm saying they should be able to have opinion because they produced that baby as well. You're just a carrier.
Yeah.
I feel like people forget, like, women are carriers. Yes, you have to be able to, sustain that baby, right? But you're the carrier. You're not the producer. Right? It takes two people to produce.
It takes two to tango.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, it's not always fair to say that men don't have a say in terms of, even on the other side too, of you getting the abortion and you not getting the abortion. Like, it's...
Yeah, because...
But women, like, having the abortion and, like, like, there's situations where, like, the woman just has abortion and doesn't tell their spouse or doesn't tell their husband. It's like, so you should have the decision over everything just because you're carrying the child, but it's part of my DNA too, right?
Yeah, there's situations like that, but the floor is yours.
Oh, you already stated
your not really, but...
Sorry, are you...
Okay.
You probably agree.
Okay. What I think about it, yes, I agree the same way that like we should have a way to protect life and protect the unborn, the voice that's inside. And I feel like a lot of women, like in my opinion, they are like, these are the 4 points I have in the sense where one, it's seen as the only option. Like it's seen as, okay, well, I get pregnant. Okay. I don't want it. I have that way of just aborting the kid. Then it could be, I'm scared because my parents might disown me or send me away, and there's no protection, there's no love in the situation, and that's why I feel like, once again, going back to my first point, they feel like that's their only option. They don't have another option. They scare them into thinking that pregnancy is such a terrible thing, but it's a gift, once again, of life. And then third, I would say trauma from like rape and being in a rash decision, right? Because like once you're raped, you feel like, oh my gosh, like I don't want part of that person to be part of me, right? But that goes to, once again, not having the proper support and like, people who can, clinics that you can go to and stuff like that, who can actually support you, because you feel like you can't say that secret to somebody. And then last, I would say, is most women are alone, right? And they're selfish with their trajectory and wanting to figure out, being like, I want my career, right? I want to be a doctor. I want to have, this baby's going to mess up my life. And I feel that is selfish. Yeah. Like, instead of saying, like, women, what's it called? It's selfish to them, like, their life. But, like, what about the kid? It's selfish for them to abort a kid that hasn't had even a choice to live. It could become the next president, the next whatever, and you've ended that life. And I feel like that's so traumatic on a woman's mental space that they don't think about that.
And then more conversation needs to be like about how the person feels after the abortion. Yep. Those conversations are not being talked about, but we'll talk about it. But yeah, Becky, sorry.
So for me, myself, I'm pro-life, but I definitely think the law that was passed was a little bit aggressive, especially for the fact that there is absolutely no reason that someone can even consider abortion, especially if they were raped, because in the situation of rape, they didn't choose to have a child, in that, like, somebody made a decision that they're going to take somebody made a decision that
Yes.
somebody came in and made a decision that, you know, to overpower this woman's body. And I'm trying to say this as eloquent as possible. Yeah, and in that moment, she did not have a choice to want to have a child. And maybe, you know, having a child after such a traumatic experience would be, you know, more harm than good. But again, when I listen to some of your reasons, I'm not against it, but I definitely think there's a stigma around abortion. I think the stigma is people believe that there are these mothers who are, you know, selfish, or I think that's the only word that people just label them as.
Right.
They instantly judge them and think that they're selfish. But there are a lot of cases where women have these babies that have medical issues, and doctors are actually advising them that this is, you know, your option. You know, you have a child who has brain, like a lot of brain issues,
Right.
and the doctor is saying as soon as you give birth to your baby, it's gonna die in 2 days. Or the doctor is telling you these are married people too, right? So you know, the doctor is telling you if you give birth to this child, you're gonna die and your baby's gonna die. So this is the best option for you. Or you know, as you're giving birth, you're gonna suffocate your baby. So there are mothers who make these decisions to prevent, you know, their baby from suffering long term. So they're making the decision: do I want my baby to suffer for 4 months, or do I want my baby to suffer for a week, or you know, should I have them pass away with dignity? Let's just say that. And there are a lot of, and so now with this law being passed, and you know, you have a baby with a lot of medical issues, now you don't have the option. You're taking away that choice. And for me as a Christian, I feel like it's not my position to condemn anybody who wants to get an abortion. The best thing I can do is to be compassionate and to support them.
Yeah, and I don't think I would condemn someone.
But
Or
this
we
law,
will
this law says a lot.
I feel like I think, like you said, like as a Christian, we have to be as compassionate as possible. But I don't think agreeing with somebody going through with this is the best option, or it's the option for them, right? Like, it's, for example, like, you know, like there's things that we see that we know are not good for somebody, and like sometimes we can say as Christians, like, I don't want to infringe on your opinion. I don't want to, you know, do anything that's going to offend you. So I'm just going to let you do as you please. But you know that they're going to the fire, right? And I just feel like I understand. I was going to say that too, about talking about the medical side. Like, of course, there's obviously medical reasons as to why people have to get an abortion, because it can literally take a life.
I understand those.
That
reasons.
part
I
I
understand
definitely
too.
completely
I'm talking about the other side of.
But I
But
think,
even in that situation, where's the faith?
but
Like,
even
should there be faith?
That's what I'm gonna say too,
in
as
a,
well.
in a situation
But
like
even
that?
then, I was gonna say, like, there. Dang it! I lost my train of thought because, well, faith.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. Well, yes, talking about faith as well too, because God is the God who created life. He knew this is what's gonna happen, and He knew that I'm able to provide and sustain you, even if it's for 4 days. There's a lot of lessons you can learn from life.
Yeah.
Alone, just even if it's 1 day. There's impacts that people have made, and you've only come across them one time, and the next day that person has passed away. So you're telling me that one life, even if it's for 1 day, can impact you or teach you a lesson about what is to
Patience,
come, like
kindness,
endurance,
all that thing.
steadfast. Like, you know, like there's so many things that you can learn.
And
But sorry, one thing
That's what
before.
I had, sorry.
Most of when I was searching up the information, majority of the pregnancies that are being aborted are because they're unplanned.
Yeah,
They're not
Majority. I saw
that too.
majority, not all, but majority are
okay.
because they're unplanned. They're not ready financially, or they're single mothers, and they don't want to raise babies. Now, rape,
With a
on the
single
other
mother,
hand, is a very small percentage of reasons why people get abortions, because I think in our minds, rape is so big. It's so like
Yeah.
It's like
Traumatic.
Yes, and so when something traumatic happens to us, we
See it as a bigger
make it
reason.
bigger. Yes,
Yeah.
we make it bigger.
And the whole rape thing, I'm still like, that's a bit too much for me in terms of like, I wouldn't be quick to be like, no, have the baby. Like, no, that's
You'll sympathize.
disrespectful.
Yeah.
If you ask me my opinion, I would tell the person, yo, let's try to turn this negative into a positive. The baby's 50% like your DNA. So maybe we can look at it like that. But like, I can never look at someone like, yo, you're gonna get an abortion after you got raped? Like, what's wrong with you?
Right.
Like, nah, I can't do that. So let me just say that but when we're having the discussion yesterday, because we're having a locker room talk, guys, yesterday, I think a lot of people are making this abortion thing about what if the girl gets raped? What if the girl gets raped? But once again, it's a small percentage though.
But the reason why people are focused on that is because this law specifically says, even if you're raped, you cannot get the abortion. Even if it's with incest or whatever, you can't get the abortion. So they really emphasized the rape part, which is like, that's kind of heartless, to be honest.
Right.
That is really kind of heartless. And then you have to think about the repercussions after the fact, not with passing the law, right? People are going to find a way to get abortions. So now you're putting a lot of people at risk, not going to seek medical care, right? They're going to go on the street and figure it out. Right. And then you have, mothers at risk. These babies are at risk. So you have to think, like, is this really... I want to think of it from the humanity aspect. Is this really for the greater good if we're going to put people's lives at danger? Because there are some black market, surgeons out there that will take care of it.
Right.
So I do get it from your standpoint, but that's why people are focused on the rape part.
Okay. Wait, before we continue, we're going to take a break and then we're going to come back and
going to go back to our corners.
Okay.
Great points.
Oh, I forgot what I said.
Great points. But one thing I do want to say, and I want to say to people as well, can we go back to level 1, the base? When you're cooking stew, using the onions, grinded up onions and tomato. Let's go back to that, okay? Abortion would not have to happen.
I dare you to say it. I dare you to say it.
Would you like me to finish?
People did what?
Close your damn
abstain
legs. And I say that respectfully and with empathy. And I know people say like, I'm using protection still.
This
is
aside from
the other cases.
Yes, this is aside from other cases. Yes. This is aside from the other cases.
You can't just put them aside from other cases.
No, I'm talking about like those like traumatic.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like
we're talking about from rape and stuff. We're talking about the people that are saying, I can't do this because I don't have money. I can't do this because my baby. Listen, close your legs. That may sound harsh, but people will say, I'm using protection and stuff like that. They teach us in school, even with protection. Hold up. Even with protection, there's a chance that something may happen.
Yeah.
Okay? So let's wait till marriage. And if you don't want to wait till marriage, okay? If you don't want to wait till marriage, wait till your life is stable. Wait till you're ready to have a kid with someone you can see that's going to be a good father. Not just sleeping around with people. And the second word they say, hey, have a kid with someone that you know is going to be a good father. Don't just have a kid with the bum that's down the street that's sitting.
All right, I got you. You need to stop right now.
Okay, go.
Okay, and I want you to listen to this after.
I'm listening.
When you post this, okay? Everything you just said was so judgmental towards women. You did not focus on men whatsoever.
I was just about to say the other.
Close your damn leg. How about men keep it in your pants?
Okay. She's right, but
and this is the problem.
No, don't do that. Don't say that. Don't group me with the men.
No, listen.
You know how I feel about men.
No, listen. Okay. This is why women are so irritated about this, right? Because men are just putting all the blame on women.
No, but you
just said it. You can't even. It's so natural and it's so based in society that you don't even know that you're doing it. It's not intentional.
You're right.
It's not intentional.
You're right.
And this is why.
But you have to know my intentions, though.
I know who you are, though. I know who you.
But the people don't know who I am.
Right, exactly.
No, real talk. The people don't know. People don't like. As a man, keep it.
But this is why women, females or women in general are so upset, because this has been going on for years, where people are just telling them, or the focus has just been on controlling a woman's body, down to, you know, how she should act in marriage, how she was property, how she can't be in a leadership role, down to her pay. It's just evolution after evolution after evolution. So you think, you think society has grown and you think society has, done better, but then something like this happens and the decision has been made primarily by men. Mm-hmm. That decision should have never been made primarily by men. You don't know.
We don't know if it's all men. I said that to you yesterday.
I never said all men. I said primarily.
Eva made it seem like it was all men.
Okay, but I never said all men, right? Okay. But men in general don't know what it feels like to be pregnant. You don't know that it takes like a year and a half off your life. Mm-hmm. Like, you know what I mean? It's a big decision to proceed with pregnancy. And number two is people who actually want babies too, that actually get abortions. People who are married that want it, and then
how does that make sense? How do you want something and you get an abortion?
Because then the doctor tells you there's something medically wrong with the baby.
But that's not all the case.
It's not.
Sorry, pause.
Sorry, people, we're back.
This has been a rough ride, but yeah, we're getting through it. Anyways, I think Becky was explaining about how this mindset of men having the idea that, oh, it's all the women's fault, or like it's the woman's
women have to close their legs.
Yes,
let me. She caught me in a rat trap. You caught me. Cha-ching! You hit me with a haymaker. I'm not even gonna front. That was a good one.
I didn't record.
But
continue.
But she caught me with a haymaker. But I do, like, yes, men, like, don't just be sleeping. And men are very, like, what's the word I'm looking for? Deceitful, maybe? Or they're they like to, even if they have a baby, they be like, no. Some men will be like, no, yo, go to get an abortion. They'll push it on the woman too. So men have a big part to play.
So would you say sometimes there are men who are chasing women, that they're doing the chase, right, and saying all the words like, yo, I'm your guy, like I'm your guy, it's me and you. And then you find out, oh shoot, like I couldn't control my guys, right? And then when it's time to be responsible, you're there telling her, go get an abortion,
right?
So it's not just on the woman.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, but this goes back to how women want the power. Women want the freedom to make the decisions. Women want to have the same power that men do. You have the authority from the very beginning. You decided as a woman, even if a man is feeding you all that you want to hear, you have the ability to say no. That's where I get confused, because women are fighting for this right that men have, the power to do as they please, to make decisions, to be the leader, right? You have the ability to say, no, I don't want it. No, we have to get married. No, show me your financial statements. No, show me what your credit score is like. You have the ability to do all these things, but as women, we're so emotional first that after the fact, everything happens. We're like, oh no,
I didn't want this. Right?
Oh,
so then what happens then? And then we start to say that men have the ability to say, oh yeah, they're controlling us.
Yes, but it's not, because we have the ability to make the decision from the get-go. It's freedom of choice. You decide as a woman, am I going to allow this man to penetrate me, or am I going to close my leg until we're married? Which, it's your decision, right?
That's a good point.
Like,
it is a good point.
That's what I'm saying. So where does the line draw where women have the decision and men are making the decision for the women?
Let's have the power. What am I saying? Let's have the power. Sorry. Women should say, let's have the power. Let's take the power.
Take it back.
Yeah.
You have it. It's in your hand.
Come on,
you just
have
take
the
it
power,
back.
bro.
Like, as a woman, I'm not going to let no man come to... Yes.
The camera looks like a good day.
We're just going to keep going because...
Yeah, we have like 10 minutes.
If the camera dies, it dies. But as I was saying, like, yeah, women have the free... Like, they always want... Like, as I said, the women are fighting for choice, right? And if they had choice... But they have choice. Everybody has choice.
Yeah.
From the beginning, except for obviously those circumstances where they didn't have the choice. But majority of women have choice.
Yeah, when you get into a situation or you get into a relationship, like, yes, the man is like pushing you to do stuff, but you entered into that relationship, you entering knowing that, oh yeah, this man probably wants to, be together. He wants to do together. Like, and that relationship, he didn't show you, I want to marry you. He didn't show you like your long term. Like, and like, it's obvious. Like, I feel like the girls just want like not protection. What is it called? They want love. They want to be loved. They want to be cared for. But once again, as you were saying, emotionally, you get out, you wake up, and you start blaming the person for like infringing, and they pressured me. No, girl, you had the decision in the beginning before entering into that commitment with that person. So
I don't think it's black and white.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
it's a very, very gray area because it may not even be between a man and a woman. It may be even cultural. Like, you're going to get, I don't even know what the word is. You're going to get shunned if you have this child. And that means you're going to be banned and you're not going to talk to your family for the rest of your life. There's so many underlying reasons why people get an abortion. And to me, like if I was in the situation, I wouldn't do it. But I can't sit here and say that if I was listening to their stories, like I got the full scope of it all, I can't sit here and say it wouldn't pass my mind.
Right.
Like I can't. And that's the thing that makes me connect with these women who want the abortion. That's the reason why I can sit and maybe be compassionate with them. That's the reason why as a Christian, I can sit and support them. Because at the end of the day, it's God that's going to condemn them, or God's gonna judge them for their actions, right? He may even have mercy and grace towards them later on. We just don't know what like we can't even grasp God's mind, right? And I feel like it's just not our job, it's not our role to condemn and judge people. I feel like we have the control over ourselves to make the decision that we want to be pro-life. And if we're ever in that situation, we slip up, right? There are a lot of Christians who do slip up,
Right.
And if that should be the case, then, you should push to be pro-life. But if the doctor tells me, here are your options, your baby is going to suffocate on birth. So it's either you keep the child and allow the baby to suffocate on birth, or you terminate the baby now. I wouldn't I could empathize with the decision to get the abortion because it's a very tricky situation. It's not black and white.
I just wanted to say one thing about I think sometimes as Christians too, people who are looking at Christians, they look at us like we're just pro-life and that's it, and we don't empathize. Or they look at God like he's God and he doesn't care about what you've been through. He just wants you to follow his rules and that's it. It's like, no, God is grieved by everything, by people being oppressed, by people having to make the decision that they have to make this abortion, or being shunned from their family. He's grieved by all of these things, and he's not happy that people have to make these decisions. But he also is a God that will redeem and restore and provide, right? He's not a God that's just going to sit back and say, okay, yeah, have the baby and I'm not going to give you anything. I'm not going to help you through it. I'm just going to sit back here and watch you suffer. No, but he's providing options for people who feel like they have no choice, right? That's why there's all these pro-life clinics and stuff like that out in this world, because they know that there's women out here who don't have the ability or financial ability to sustain this baby, right? Or adoption agencies who are willing to take babies, or foster care, you know what I mean? And obviously the system is still messed up. It's very messed up. And that's why a lot of people don't want to put their kids in the system, because it does obviously give them a traumatic experience and all this stuff that they don't need to go through. But I believe that God is a God that literally took into consideration what we have to go through in this time. And he's providing ways. But at the same time, I feel like the enemy's making the option of abortion as the only option, and that's not the case, right? There's life after, if you have to go
suffering
through this. There's joy on the other side, there's hope on the other side. You don't have to make this decision. And I understand we have no ability to make sure that people are, this is it and that's the end of it, but I want people to have the option,
choice,
of saying okay, I can have the ability to have this baby and still be okay.
There's still a bright side of having the kid.
I just feel like sometimes it's just abortion, but what about the other side? There's hope.
People are making a decision based on how they feel at that moment.
Yeah,
which is fair, we're human. So
yeah. But then I also have to pose more so a statement, or I don't know, a thought. Then these same leaders who are passing these laws or these mandates or whatever, and it may be happening because I'm not American, right? Canada, we're extremely blessed.
Yeah.
But why not, instead of, because this law was very aggressive, like very aggressive. So I mean, I feel like it should have almost been the last
resort.
act. Why not try to pass policies to try to, promote education? So let's be realistic. There are some people who just do not know, right? Like, yeah, they teach us in school. Like, bro, like I'm.
What did I even learn?
I'm for the very longest time of my life, and this is so embarrassed to say, but I remember someone told me who got pregnant, like, yo, I said, how did you get pregnant? They're like, oh, I sat on the toilet seat after a guy used it. I believed it when I was a child. I believed it. You know what I'm saying? I wiped it. So, guys, have grace, right? Have grace. But it's an example of, like, you just need to educate people on, sex and the consequences. And it's not just pregnancy, right? It's like STDs and how it can impact your infertility and stuff like that. Why not push, for subsidies? If people are in the position where they don't have it financially, why not provide that for them? And I know in America, like healthcare, you have to pay for it, right? Why not give them those options where doctor visits are free or something like that? Why not do everything possible to provide them the support that they need? And it doesn't just come from nonprofit organizations or the church. Like, why not do that, government? And then if you still see that it's a problem, let's pass this. And
good point.
Why not do that, right? So that's like, this is the reason why females are so outrated. That's a good point. Because this is what you're doing. You went to the extreme with it.
Yeah.
Like, you didn't even try to really provide us that support.
Options.
Help us help you.
Right?
Yeah.
So I mean, I can empathize with them, to be honest.
I agree.
I think that's it. Literally, put all like the resources you need to help these women.
Open more
give some
and stuff.
like fun,
Support.
Money or housing, stuff like that. So that's a really good point.
So, but once again, this is a touchy topic
For a lot.
too big. But I've learned, because it's good that Becky was here today, because I think we would have had just one perspective and it would have been not very helpful. Because
She educated.
no, seriously though, it's very good to have two perspectives on how people view it, right? And it's not Becky against us, but it's all about understanding each other
And having a conversation about it.
So if you've learned anything about it,
Respectfully.
I hope you guys took something from this. It's been a cool ride talking, up and down this whole conversation. Just
Thank Becky for coming
Thank you
on.
so much.
And you're gonna come again, right?
I guess so.
Yes. Anyways, follow us on the Juxtaposition Podcast _ You can barely see it because we got us some new technology. But if you're watching this on YouTube, I'm so sorry for the choppiness. It has been, once again, a rough ride, but we made it. Also, don't forget, we are running the Scotiabank Waterfront Marathon. Yes, 10K. We are raising money. 2,000 is our goal. Please help us reach it by October 17th. That's when we are running. So if you haven't donated, click the description in the description
Donation.
box below. $10, $5, $20, you get a tax receipt. So if you want it, I'm just saying. Other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and we'll see you guys on the next one. See you later.
Bye.
Peace.